Hello, Yuri's.
So, hello everyone.
How's it going?
It's good. Making a pizza right now, so going to be a little bit relaxed live stream today. I've seen other
Yeah,
people drinking beer. I'm making pizza. So, real life over there. There you have it.
that's the way. Nice and
Yeah.
chilled.
If anyone is interested, this is a vegan protein lovers pizza. Absolutely love this one. Super
Uh,
tasty.
you're doing the whole vegan thing as well. I think I spoke to George about that too.
No, I'm not completely vegan. It's just a, how to say,
Cutting down?
yeah, cutting down, I would
Yeah,
say.
same here.
So if I want, I will eat a steak or something, but, like eating fish or steak maybe twice a week. We have eggs, but mostly plant-based.
Yeah, us too, purely just down to health reasons,
Mhm.
because I'm not a small guy.
I mean, health reasons and also environmental impact. We are here, talking about the hobby. In a second, for everyone who has just joined, hit the hearts button here, guys, if you like those live streams.
Yeah, just
Uh,
down there.
we're going to talk about hobby today, all things aquascaping. Lots of
Yeah,
viewers,
yeah.
maybe from the States, from Europe, from UK, from Germany. Um, but the thing is, our environment right now with the whole pandemic situation, I think everyone is super aware.
Yep.
And I don't know, I feel like the nature is so much cleaner, the air, you don't see any airplanes flying around. So, and by our daily choices, what we eat, we can have an impact, maybe me on my own doesn't count, but if all people together, that can change things.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
the food industry is one of the main producers of carbon dioxide. Not many know that. It's not the cars, it's not the factories, it's actually the food industry.
Yes, I did. I was aware of that actually. I've been trying to get you on a live stream for ages.
Excuse me?
I said I've been trying to get you on live stream for ages. I've caught a lot of your streams with George and on the Tropica. Oh, shout out to Aquatic World. One of my local fish stores has just joined. Yeah, excuse my kids in the background. I've been out on a
No
job this
problem.
morning, so I've literally just walked back in, flew upstairs, had a quick shower, and come back down. I had to decontaminate. Guys, see, you're still out there maintaining aquariums and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's part of my work, so that's allowed to do it. No restrictions here.
Yeah, same
So
here.
if it's for work, but also, I mean, yes, all kind of safety precautions. Most of my clients, they are, how to say, dentists and clinics, so I can go there off hours when no one is there. So
Yeah, same
I
here.
have little contact with other people. I kind of wash my hands, use hand sanitizer, all this stuff.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same for me. I mean, I do something similar, but obviously on a different scale to you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Richie, why don't we dive into today's topic? Been rambling now for 5 minutes. In five
yeah,
minutes,
yeah,
my pizza will be ready. So,
yeah, yeah. No problem. Yeah, cool, cool. Yeah,
so
we'll do it. We'll do it. So aquascaping. Are you entering IAPLC this year?
Um, yeah, definitely will enter. I think a lot of people are super eager to know how my tank looks like. So this is it.
Is that the one you've been scaping for like months?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's years. I started this one last year. It's the hardscape is probably already like 12-month old, a little bit more than 12 month, and yeah, I haven't changed it ever since. But it's a new location here. It used to be on the wall over there previously, where I photographed the previous layout with George. Now it stands here. I needed to move it first before I could continue working on it because if it's full and heavy, it's impossible to move. And I had this plan for a long while. Now, obviously, 1 month before IPOC, that would be a little bit unrealistic, even if I could Yeah, I could try, but you know, I have support from, you know, the companies. Like, I could use unlimited plants in here, or even if I would buy them. But the thing is, I don't want to rush it. I put already so much work into it. So I will take my time with this one. Maybe enter it in the Chinese contest.
SIPs.
Yeah, or AGA, it's slightly later kind of submission period, or next year, I don't know. However, I'm not going to miss out on IPLC. I'm not missing out in a year where I have nothing super well and fancy prepared. I just photograph, yeah, the tank for my customer. I'm going to submit one of these. I have quite a few options here. Oh, I see Pachi from Austria. Hey, greetings. So I could either take the workshop tank from the Scapers launch. It's looking great. I already talked to them, and yeah, they told me I'm cool to do this month as much maintenance as I want for them. Free maintenance, of course, they take it. And then, of course, to photograph it. And it's option one. Option number two is that new dentist tank, which not many have seen. I haven't posted too many pictures of it. It's actually right now looking really, really good. It is a 180p. The only problem with this tank is it has a dry chamber in the middle.
Okay.
So I would have to photograph it with a black background, because it's a black kind of glass, the dry chamber, so that it kind of visually disappears in front of the black background. And I don't think the layout works well on a black background, because it's very, I don't know, open style. And if I photograph it on black, it would look like very cramped and small. So I would rather photograph it with a backlit on a white background, but then there is like a black pillar in the middle sticking out. That's not so cool. Yeah, another option is the old dentist aquarium with those Hydrophila panadifida covered rocks. Yeah, they're super cool. I could easily take this one. The problem with this one is it's super difficult to photograph because the tank is quite long, so I need some distance to photograph it. And right where I would position my camera, there is the dentist chair with some mounts, so there is always a gear in the middle. When I take pictures of it, always take it like from the side. So that's a little tricky there.
And that's viewable from both sides, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that one is viewable from both sides. It's like a room divider. It's built into the wall, but only accessible from one side. So that's the old dentist tank, and the new dentist tank is a complete freestanding build. It's 360. You can walk around it, and all the hardware is in the middle in the dry chamber. Ah,
cool. Yeah, I've done a Peninsula tank in a private house, but that's on a sump. That's a 950 litre system, I think. It was originally a planted tank, but the guy spends so much time out of the country. He's a software developer, so he spends so much time in Brussels and in China and Japan and here, there, and everywhere. He didn't want to pay somebody like myself to go there every week and like trim his plants and monitor the CO2 and fertilize and all this kind of stuff. So we did a ADG style tank. It's a hardscape only. Stripped it all down, and it's literally just sand, rocks, manzanita, and some Sirio stone, I think. It might be mini landscape rock. I think they're one and the same.
It's the same, yeah. It's just trade names.
Yeah. So that's that's one of my favorite tanks. And you can walk sort of not 360, but you can see three sides. Yeah. That's up on my Instagram somewhere. There's a video on my YouTube of it as well, but I haven't done a proper video. It's kind of just the slideshow, because I'm still playing with the whole YouTube thing. I've not got my head around that yet. My editing skills are a bit pants, to say the least.
Are you planning to re-upload the stream to YouTube as well?
Hopefully, yeah. If it comes out good. I mean, I've done. The only one I've missed was the Mike Sensky one that I did, because basically with the way that the time is at the minute, and everyone's locked down and everyone's at home, and lots of people are concentrating on their tanks and stuff right now. I think to speak to like, or see a conversation with somebody like yourself, with Adam, with Felipe, with Mike, it's just great to get everybody's like ideas, everyone's inputs, which is why I've gone into these streams and not like had like a super like detailed like a lot of questions I'm going to ask people. It's just like chilled out, you know, talk about scaping, talk about tanks, talk about your favorite lighting. I mean, filtration and whatever. I mean, speaking of Felipe, he's just jumped in.
Hey.
There he is, the man himself. So yeah, we're planning to have another live stream, myself and Felipe, because both of us can talk a glass eye to sleep, to be honest.
I remember having some Skype calls with Felipe years back. I had a little, or both of us, we had a little venture with the ELOS back then. So I had some business Skype calls with Felipe, and he's talking so fast and loud, and I tried to say something on Skype, but he couldn't hear me, so he would just keep talking. And because Skype is not FaceTime, he couldn't see me. So no offense, Felipe. But back then, I was literally like waiting for 5 minutes or 10 minutes for Felipe to stop talking so I could say something. That was fun times. And yeah, going to be a cool live stream.
Yeah. Like I said, we did one before, but it went on for like 2 hours. So like we cut off after an hour, then we started again for another hour. We probably could have gone on for another like 4 hours, probably just talking and talking and talking.
That's the pizza.
That's the pizza. Your Wi-Fi is telling you it's done.
Alexa aus.
Oh, you're too posh. You are.
Huh?
You're too posh.
Posh? No, it's
my smoke alarm tells me when my dinner's ready.
So this is real life behind the scenes. Yuri's cooking. So usually before anyone says anything, you know, this is stuff I usually eat. You can see here risotto. What else do we have this week? Some tart with porree and champignons, and I don't know, stuff like that. That's what we're usually cooking on a daily basis. Pizza like this is literally just a cheat meal for lunch when I don't have time to cook something
junk food.
Proper. Yeah, but it's healthy junk food. At least
yes, it's fine. It's fine. So, you spent some time with Mr. Urbano as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
If I remember rightly. But you were very, very young then, fresh-faced, I think.
Well, it's been 5 years ago, so how old have I been?
I don't know.
27. I think so.
Is that what you were then or now?
Yeah, then. Nah, mamma mia.
You still got a baby face though, Yuri.
I wait until I shave, then they will ask for ID card when I do grocery nearby alcohol.
They stopped asking me. I'm upset now.
So
I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but Raymondo Gomez says that's a big meal. No, it isn't. That's not a big meal. I'd eat that all day.
So, yeah, it's been 2015 when I joined the Florestas Submersas project together with Adam Pascala. So this is where I really spent a lot of time with him. And the year before, I've been in Aarhus in Denmark for a live workshop. No, that was 2011. And 2012, I joined him for a seminar in Germany. So 3 times met him.
Yeah, he's a great guy, Adam. We had a good conversation. And mainly, it started off with Takashi, and then he was going on into his anecdotes of Takashi. And have you seen that cube glass that Adam's got?
Cube glass?
Yeah, it's like a tiny, like 1 liter square glass. I think it's a sample of a aquarium from his friend that they took to Takashi Amano to show him the quality of the glass. And it literally holds about just under a liter of water, this thing. And he took it to Japan to the, I think it was the ADA party or something. And Mr. Amano saw it and he said, this is going to be my glasses, what I'm going to drink out of tonight. And he literally poured a whole bottle of whiskey into this glass and he was sipping out of this glass all night. So Adam was showing me this little glass that he had. So the live stream was really good. It started off with like awesome sort of little anecdotes and little things about Mr. Amano that most people wouldn't already or ordinarily know.
I didn't know this one either.
Yeah, he shared with me, and he also shared some story about. Do you remember years back when the Americans had the war with the Japanese?
Americans, the war with the Japanese?
Years and years and years and years ago in history. I mean, ago. Yeah. I think it was the first atomic bomb or something. Well, he was sharing with me some information about his cousin, who was big into military history, and he was reading a book or a couple of books where they've got the diaries from the pilots from the planes, and basically where they dropped the first atomic bomb wasn't originally where they were going to drop it. They were going to drop it on the town where Mr. Amano was born. So if the weather hadn't been bad and these guys hadn't switched their location, then Mr. Amano may never have even been born. So that really resonated with me. I got hairs stood up the back of my neck when he told me that. I was like, oh my God. So the whole thing, all this conversation, aquascaping as we know it today, planted aquariums, everything may not have even have happened if the weather had been fine.
Yeah, I mean, the life is full of coincidences, you know. If you
blew me away.
If you just think of, you know, how to say, like birth, you know, it's 1 in a million or a milliard, I don't know, like that, you know, then made you become who you are or made me become who I am. Or, you know, millions of years ago when, you know, the earth evolved and all those things happened, you know, it's crazy. Several times could have been, you know, like everything could have been wiped out so many times already. Crazy,
isn't it? And then, you know, now with this thing that's going on and everyone's stuck in a house and stuck at home, you know, none of this may have even have happened. If that's just crazy, it's mind-blowing, blows my mind. So when did you get into, enough of the deep, crazy, meaning, mind-blowing stuff, when did you get into scaping? How old were you when you discovered it?
Let me think. I've been around, I mean, I started hobby at the age of 11 years old.
What, just fish keeping or?
Yeah, fish keeping. And I would say I already have been a little bit of aquascaping back then, but I didn't knew that, you know, what I've been doing. But if I think back and I look at the images, I have some of the, you know, my first aquariums that I had, I was already kind of scaping. I can see people who do aquascaping today, they do something similar I did with 11 years old. I mean, no offense, but it looks kind of similar, you know. I used slate rock and I separated gravel and sand with a lot of small chips of slate rock. And then I had what is called from grapevine, the wood.
Yeah, wine wood, yeah.
Yeah. So I use it as a branches to kind of have as a cascade go from the gravel to the sand area. And I had ferns growing on the hanging side, and the other side was filled. I had foreground, midground, background. So I've applied all the technique already back then, even without knowing about it. So as a kid, when I started with the fish keeping, for me, very early I started keeping plants, and I was, I think, more interested in plants than in fish, to be honest. And I literally soaked up all kind of books and prints, all I could get into my hands. I think I had some, they were like leaf letters, you know, like from Banner back then, like little prospects you could get for free.
Leaflets, yeah.
in the shops, like the 60 centimeter setup, the 80 centimeter setup, the 1 meter setup. And what I really liked about them, you had a step-by-step guide, which products you need, how you build up the substrate, the hardscape, the planting, including a plant map and the amount of plants required. And back then I was thinking they must be crazy using like 10 pots of this plant or 5 pots of this one, because back then I've been using just, you know, like single plants. But what I really liked about those manuals, they had a, how to call it, a section at the end of the prospect, how you can super easily change the entire look of the aquarium just by swapping out the background plant, like a wallpaper. Just remove the kabombas and put in the Vallisneria, or get rid of the Vallisneria and put in some Echinodoros bleheri, and everything changes completely. So the entire look of the aquarium, really liked it. And I've been reading these books over and over and over again. I had books with the like a fish lexicon, and I would read this book every day. So I still know a lot of scientific, you know, fish names and plant names. And I don't know, I cannot remember the birth date of, you know, most of my friends, but I know crazy amount of, you know, Latin scientific names of fish and plants, and people are like, how do you can keep this in your head? Well, I started reading this stuff when I was a small kid. And then I think it was the year 2004 when Takashi Amano has built his private tank at home. It was this, I think it's a 4-meter tank by 150 by 150.
The one with all the microsporums.
Yeah, the needle leaf.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that is still the same tank, isn't it? It hasn't changed.
It's still the same. It's still the same.
Who maintains it then? Does his wife maintain it? Or has he got some ADA guys doing it?
Yeah, ADA guys. They come there every other day. So the wife, I think she feeds the fish. And the guy, he is doing maintenance on the tank. Like, I don't know how often it's needed. So when he made this tank, there was a printed article in a German magazine. And yeah, I was reading it and I was like on fire, like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And then I saw an article about IPLC results, and I've been blown away by this. And then I started researching, started asking in shops, and, you know, back then sales staff told me, forget it. They just set it up for a picture, and 2 days later, everything full of algae. They take it apart. It's a myth. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. And I was like, yeah, okay. But then I saw those pictures, and then I started one day searching on the internet, and then I discovered forums, UCAPS, ASW, Aquascaping World Forum, APSC, I think, Aquatic Plant Central, all that, you know, stuff online.
Was that back in the dial-up internet days, where you were about a week to get online? Exactly. And so that was, I think, the year 2007. I started really, you know, digging it, reading everything I could. I became obsessed with it. I've been reading everything I could find online, I think, like for half a year. And then after half a year, you know, I was already totally into estimative index, pressurized CO2, you know, like all the fertilizers, like everything. And then I started, I signed up in those forums, and then started my own topics, started building my first project, my first tank. And yeah, that's, I think it was 2008. And then that's how everything has started. And pretty quickly, within 3 years, I started my company in 2011. Your company is in what, doing like aquascaping and maintenance, or different stuff?
Yeah, well, basically everything aquarium related. So I started like a side hustle in 2011. I was still working in a corporate environment back then.
Yeah, I think I saw something you posted a while back. You had kind of like a desk job, and you got annoyed with it, and you literally just
so coming from you know, like a office job, and In 2012, I quit. I wanted to get an academical degree, so I wanted to study. So the same year was into the 2012, and then my career literally went through the roof, and I was too busy with working, and I was already making good money, and I literally had no time to join the classes, and then I dropped out from the.
So you hit it at the right time, then. You hit it at the right time.
Yeah, definitely.
How did you get to know George then? Was that just through the forums and stuff? Now he's eating.
Yeah. So back then, George was still in the Royal Air Force, and I've been quite a few times to UCAP's events in UK. Even 2011, the event when Takashi Amano came to Denmark, like everyone from UCAPS except George has been there, and I've been looking to meet him in person, but he was in, I don't know, somewhere else. He couldn't join. And years after that, we met, I think, for the first time at Interzoo. I interviewed him there for the Scape Crew podcast, by the way. Anyone still listening or listened to the Scape Crew podcast? Comment in the stream. So yeah, and then I interviewed him for the podcast. It was the first time we met in person, and after that, I don't know, I think when George became full-time aquascaper, when he quit his Air Force career, then he became more active, started more networking, and I don't know, I think I invited him as a judge for one of the contests that I was organizing, and yeah, I think through contests we got in touch, and then he was invited, I think, to the EAPLC, that's the European contest, awarding ceremony to do like a live demo. Oh my gosh, when has it been? Like 3-4 years ago. Something like that. So then he came to Germany for the first time, and yeah, then.
Funny enough, I got to call him later because I got to catch up. I got to catch up with him because I haven't spoken to him for ages. I sent him your message, but he's so busy. What with Tropica and his YouTube stuff and whatever. We were supposed to be doing a workshop together. George, myself, and the other Prodibio guys. We're supposed to be doing a workshop for a UK aquarium manufacturer here before all this happened. And we just couldn't get our diaries to match up. So either I was busy working or he was busy working, or it wasn't the right time. So yeah, I love doing the workshops. I miss it. I was supposed to do it on the 28th of March before all this kicked off at a shop about 2 hours away from my home. But yeah, obviously with everything that's gone on, we didn't happen. So hopefully when we're all allowed back into planet Earth again, it'll happen. Do you remember the picture of my tank I sent you?
No, sorry. I see so much stuff all the time. So
you won't forget it. Bright red rocks.
You have somewhere down here in that corner, you have the image icon. I think it's in the very right corner. If you tap on that, you can get to your camera roll and you can put the image and then show it to everyone.
Oh, can you? Well, it's behind me. The tank's behind me.
Go ahead.
But it's not going through its best. It's not looking its best at the minute because basically in my rush to get the plants to grow crazy, I was reading basically how to not cheat but get everything to grow a lot faster by adding more light, more fertilizer and more CO2. Well, obviously in doing so, I did it for about 4 months and my stems and everything were crazy green and they were just like ridiculous. I was trimming them off the surface like every week, and then things started going downhill. Then like I started getting algae creeping in, and I've got a little bit of cyanobacteria which I'm treating at the minute because it's in a dead area in my tank. But let me just sort my light out. Where's my light? Haha, here's my light. Okay, let me spin it around and I can show you.
Show me.
Oh my god, can't really get a good picture because I got cover glass because I got kids that don't leave things alone. Hang on. I can't get a good focus on it.
Oh, okay, choose help.
There we go.
What do you do to fight these cyanobacteria?
What am I doing to correct it?
Yeah, you're fighting the cyanobacteria now,
well,
right?
Basically, see this little horrible, annoying power head I got here? Well, the dead spot is down around this area here. So I'm increasing my flow. I've reduced my fertilizers now because I'm lean dosing now, as per Felipe, because I've got a lot of root tabs in the soil. There's about 20 in there. Let me turn that down, otherwise you won't be able to see me. There's about 20 root tabs in the substrate there behind me. And that's the wood from you. That's the juniper.
Where you got it from?
Aquarium Gardens.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's the wood from you. The I can't remember where I got rocks from. I think it was from there we go. I think I come from one of the local fish stores around here. I ordered a load of it and I just picked the best ones. I wanted to use red for a change because of contrast. Mainly, and because Felipe told me not to, so I said, right, I'm going to do it anyway.
I have something coming with red rocks. So last year in September, I unboxed and reviewed the entire ADA hardscape range. I don't know if you're familiar with the ADA hardscape range. I know
ADA. I haven't seen the hardscape range other than I don't know, it looks almost like moon rocks, just like round with like big craters in it and stuff. I know Amano's used it in some of his layouts. I forget what it's called.
That's the Haikai stone.
Haikai stone, that's the one.
So, well, but that's not available for purchase. But what is available right now, I received from distributor an entire pallet, like one box of everything in, like I said, last year. And I carried all the boxes inside. It was like a workout. And then over there, in my living room, so I put the sofa away, like a huge spot in the middle, unboxed everything, and I had they're packaging the rocks with newspaper inside the boxes so they don't fly around. And there was so much paper around. It was a huge pile of everything, and it took hours to just unbox it, everything, and review it. So I have videos coming on that fun. And what I also did after I unboxed all the hardscape, I made, I think, 5 hardscapes. So I have 5 videos coming up in the future. They're like hardscape tutorials, and they're all sort of nature aquarium classics, because ADA hardscape, nature aquarium, those classic, super simple, easy to replicate designs.
No super glue.
No super glue, of course. No, not in this one. Literally just showcasing the specifics of each type of hardscape and how to make best use of it and how to just achieve a great effect, super simple by using hardscape. And I have like 5 videos, and one of them is with the red stones. I think it's called K-stone from ADA. It is a red stone. It's going to be a red stone iwagumi. So I will do it in the future. Yeah,
cool. Do it. Because, that's the reason why I used red lava, because I've looked at loads of contest scapes. I've looked at tons and tons of images, videos, as you did. I mean, obviously, when I got heavily into aquascaping, I mean, this is behind me. It's my first high-tech tank. Because up until recently, all my customers, clients, whatever, they don't want high-tech systems because they don't want to pay. Basically, they don't want to pay someone to come out every week and trim plants and change CO2 bottles and clean algae and all that, because it's expensive. So they just want a high-impact planted system that looks good, that isn't going to require too much maintenance. So that's why I kind of made the leap into injected CO2, and you can see the light behind me. That's the max light, the Lifeaqua Pro. Then my other bits and pieces, I've got a CO2 art Pro SE dual regulator. What else am I running on there? I got stainless steel lily pipes because I don't like glass because I'm too heavy-handed. I always break them, and I don't like that. I'll admit it, I'm lazy. I don't like cleaning pipes and pipe work and taking
guilty
pipes on and off and all that kind of stuff. So I'd rather do big water changes and clean them if there's a problem.
Yeah, so it definitely, you know, if you have glass lily pipes, they look most I don't know, aesthetically invisible, whatever, but they definitely require frequent cleaning. If you don't clean your glass lily pipes, then better get some plastic ones, because then you see less dirt.
Yeah, that's why I went stainless, because it kind of gives you a bit of a design element. Looks cool, but you don't have all that visual. So my guess, you don't have any children, Juris?
Not yet.
Not yet. Aha! So there's a plan. Exclusive. You heard it here first.
There's always a plan.
They reckon there's going to be a baby boom after all this is over.
And a lot of divorces.
Yes. Well, I'm neither at the moment, luckily.
I think that, you know, where everything has started in China, they already reported that the divorce lawyers are so busy now. They have a lot of work.
No, at least they have. Lots of us haven't, because obviously I'm self-employed and you're self-employed. I mean, I know George is self-employed, but I mean, you guys are working alongside like Tropica and things, aren't you? So, I mean, like myself, I mean, I work with Prodibio and Lifeaqua and a few other companies, CO2 Art and a few of those other companies, but I don't get paid by them. They're companies I've chosen to support. They support me, and that's just the way it is. I started my little side business, my t-shirts, the kind of tongue-in-cheek, taking the mick. I got one on now as it goes. There we go. Because I see Juris, Mr. Moss Cotton, is the only one who's doing sort of aquascaping related t-shirts. So I thought to myself, right, let's have a bit of fun with this. And I got my designer to come up with some sort of tongue-in-cheek, funny designs. So yeah, I started that on the side just so I had something else to do, and then obviously the live streams happened. Luckily, I've started going back to some of the commercial clients now, where I can get into the building, and pretty much I'm left alone to do what I need to do. Oh, hello! People are saying hello, everybody. So yeah, but I mean, my story, aquascaping story, I suppose, kind of happened purely by accident. I mean, I kept, similar to you, I mean, I was aquascaping without realizing what I was doing, because I kept aquariums from when I was a kid. You know, like a lot of kids, you know, you have a goldfish from the fair, you keep it in a bowl, and then as you get older and sort of learn more about the hobby, and you learn more about the proper way to keep fish. Don't keep goldfish in a bowl, kids. It's not recommended. Make sure you've got proper filtration and proper food and enough room. That disclaimer out the way. Yeah, so then my grandfather, he kept a big tank in the 80s, you know, sort of set into a wall. And I used to sit and watch that thing for hours. And then I kept a ton of fish, all different types. And then kind of, what was it? Maybe 2010, maybe. I was keeping like a 150 centimeter planted discus aquarium with different woods, and I'm on the phone a minute, mate. With different woods and a lot of Echinodorus. I also had Hygrophila difformis in there, but at the time I didn't know what it was called. I just used to call it water sprite.
I like those common names because, you know, water sprite is so easy to remember for a lot of people. But if you say, you know, Hygrophila difformis, you know, for a lot of people it's a tongue breaker. I don't know. But what is also interesting with the common names, different countries, they are different.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
which is...
So you cannot translate, you know, that's not like universal everywhere.
Yeah, which is why Latin names are preferred, especially by people who are into fish and into... Can I recommend an external filter suitable for the 35 centimeter cube? Ooh, maybe the Awaze... Oh, what's it called? The small one. I forget what it's called now. You might be able...
Cube?
No, we want to recommend an external filter for a 35 centimeter cube. I mean, I would say...
from the comments. Sorry.
Yeah, from the comments, yeah. I would say either a hang-on, go with a hang-on back, or go with probably one of the smaller Awaze, Filter Start. That's the one. Filter Smart 60?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Or one of the smaller... like the little Eheim Classic, maybe something like that. A little small Eheim Classic. If you've got a cabinet to put it on, I mean, obviously, it all depends on what the setup is. It's hard to really recommend without seeing the setup. Yeah, so I was keeping discus, and they were breeding, and then I thought somebody, what was it? I saw a picture online of a proper like aquascape tank, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And that can't be real. That's got to be photoshopped. That can't be real. So then I started researching it, and I got Takashi Amano's book. I bought, what did I buy? I bought Takashi Amano's book, and then I just kind of researched. Oh yeah, we've got loads of recommendations now. You don't even need to ask me. So then that was my sort of background in aquascaping. Like everyone else, I kept a ton of fish first, from like black arowana, guppies, all sorts of things, different plecos and community fish and tetras and everything. And then like looked into, just stumbled across it by accident one day and kind of never looked back. And it was like these last few years, I've kind of really taken it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of it for me. And then as far as getting into it as a job, that was purely by accident as well. One of the mums at my son's school, they had a tank in their workplace, and they said, to my wife, do you know anyone who knows anything about tanks? My wife said, yeah, my husband knows a bit about tanks. What do you want to know? And they said, we lost our maintenance guy. He's left us in the lurch for 3 months. Can you come and sort it out and we'll pay him? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So you never see any of those tanks. I never post any of those tanks online because they're like, it's in a kid's play center. So it's like a big plastic ship and gravel and all that, because that's just not me. That's not my thing, not my style. There is plans to change it. It's going to be changed to sort of an ADG similar style with like pebbles and wood, but I may add some epiphytes to it. Maybe some microsoran, maybe some ball biters, maybe depends on the light, because at the minute there's no light on the tank because it just broke and they never replaced it. So that's kind of where I got into it, I suppose, because lots of people have asked me. I mean, Geordie Scaper, he was in the comments now. He's just started a YouTube channel. He's been asked by a few people in his area to do tanks for him, and he said to me, what can I kind of charge per day? And it's like, well, it's hard because you got to know the area, you got to know your customers, and it's like people in London are charging way more per hour per day than what I can charge where I live, because it's a big city, there's a lot more money around, and You know, that's the way the economics works there, I suppose. So, yeah, I mean, and then, go on, sorry.
I just wanted to make like a suggestion. We will get to the topic. I see some nice questions here. Fish Stork, you know, tips on starting YouTube, and you know, some others. Maybe to do a little like Q&A with the guys. There is this Q&A tab. Everyone watching now. There is the question mark tab at the bottom. So submit your question through the Q&A tab, and from now on, Richie is going to pick your questions. And for the last like 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to give quick answers to them to also have a little bit of an engagement with the audience here.
Yeah, that's right.
Live.
Hello.
So do this, guys. Richie, you will see numbers popping up at the bottom, so you can just tap on that. It will, you know, a swipe up. You can select the question that you want to give an answer to, or you want me to answer.
Yeah, I know.
Something I wanted to address, which you just said, you know, like Gertie asking you about how much to charge. I get this question all the time, and probably I charge even more than some other guys do in London. And the reason to that is, you know, it's just how to say, well, it's business, okay? You have to charge as little as you need to charge, because if you charge too little, then your business is not profitable. And at the same time, charge as much as you can.
Good advice.
So what that means is, you know, when you charge a certain hourly rate, at some point you will get to a point where you're full of work. You cannot take more customers. So then you can start going up with the price for new customers, and automatically not everyone will take it. Only a few people will take it. As soon as you have enough there, you can go back to your existing customers and say, look, economic situation, blah, blah, blah. However, everything is becoming more expensive, so I have to raise my prices. If not, then I'm sorry, I cannot keep doing the work for you. Some will go, some will leave. That frees up new space for, again, new customers. And this way you can grow with the hourly rate. So I started myself 2011 with a very, very tiny hourly rate or daily rate for, you know, for my work. But I needed to start somewhere. I needed to get some experience. So everyone has been there. In the very beginning, I've been doing work for free. I needed practice, nothing wrong with it. And, you know, so just start somewhere where you feel comfortable, something to maybe get a little like an estimate, because some people really don't know how much to ask. And if they do it on the side, even $10 for 1 hour sound like something. I would just look, what is the average rate for if someone is doing labor? I don't know.
Like a trade
in your area, if somebody is doing, I don't know, like a carpenter or something, you know, what is the average rate if you get your car repaired? How much do they charge on average? Take this as an estimate, and this is something, you know, you can't go wrong with. And from there, it's literally up to you. Do you want to have like a lot of customers and like literally one after another, have a full day, and then a lot of working hours and very small hourly rate? Or you have just a few customers, big gaps in between, but you get paid double and triple amount. End of the day, you have the same amount of money in your pockets, but you less hours. But eventually, those customers, they're more demanding, they have higher expectations, and also requires more skill from yours. And you can choose which way you want to go. You can go, you know, the high-end route, or you can go the low-budget route. You know, there's the discounter supermarket, and then there is the, what is called, organic, everything, in those shops.
In the UK, that would be like Lidl's or Waitrose.
Yeah. So you can choose, you know, yourself. Yeah. If you go this route. Ricky, do we have questions? Let's do really quick.
I can't see any. I don't see any. Nobody's posted anything in the question tab. No one's posted anything in the question. No, not in the question tab. They posted it in the comments, but not in the question tab.
Everyone is sleeping. So I've seen that question from Fish Talk. He asked for advice to start YouTube, and my best advice is just start. This is the best advice I can give you. Not many people know, but I started YouTube, like, how to say, practicing, sort of, in 2014, which is 6 years ago, and just 2 years ago I started publishing my videos. You might ask yourself, what happened meanwhile? Well, that's going to remain on the hard drives.
People are saying there is no question tab. On my phone, looking at it on my phone, next to the comments box, there's a little square with a question mark on it, and that is the question tab. But I don't know if everyone's got the same thing. Have you got that on yours, Juris?
You are the live stream host, so I don't see
right,
it.
okay, so you don't see it. Okay, it's weird. I've got it on mine. It's weird. It's strange.
JP, no tab, just Coke and Pepsi. JP, I'm enjoying a cup of nice coffee from the 88 mug. I really love them. I have a lot of them. Pedro is asking, what's in the box? Well, Pedro, comment on the YouTube video, and then in the unboxing, you will know. Make your best guess. Maybe do something funny in the comment section, because best captions, I will read them out. There is something cool inside, definitely.
There we go. You're plugged in now. I had to go into my kitchen because my phone was about to die. There we go. Okay. That's better.
Galactic Harvest. We would ask if there was a tab. Okay, guys, just write your questions in the comments. We are reading them now manually, old school style.
Old school. Let's have a...
PT Tank BJJ. I picked up a 65 2020 shallow tank. Any ideas on light for it? And what wattage for carpet and shrimps? 65 centimeter. That's an odd size.
That's
so
a
for
weird
65. Size. It's a weird size. Yeah, you can always go with, you know, something like the ONF Flat Nano. I can show you. How can I switch this over? So this is the ONF Flat Nano. I have it mounted from the back, but you can rotate it the way you need it, and, you know, literally you see the base down there. So I have it like rotated the wrong way around, but you can have it sitting in the middle if you do an island composition. So that could work.
How about the Castle A80 tuna sun?
I haven't tested this, so I cannot recommend something I haven't tested, but I guess based on my other Castle experience, should be good as well. And the wattage for carpet, well, shrimps don't care about the wattage, but for carpet plants, it depends which carpet plant you have. So just check. I recommend Tropica website, easy category plants. Then you need like 20 lumen per watt. No, 20 lumen per liter. Yeah, super easy on a small tank. And if you go with easy plants, it's gonna work anyway. It's very shallow.
I got a question, if you can elaborate on it. I mentioned it in the Tropica stream with yourself and George, when you were talking about, well, we were all talking about lean dosing versus, you know, daily dosing and all that kind of stuff. And I know you're a fan of lean dosing, as am I, as is Felipe. Obviously, when you use root tabs, so you've got some substrate fertilization going on. But when I see tanks of like the really, really red pinnatophidas and really, really red rotalas and things like that, I read somewhere that it's down to low nitrates that causes them to go red as opposed to high light. Is that true in your experience?
It's a combination. So if you have shitty conditions overall and then you go down with nitrates, it's not gonna do any good to your plants. It's just gonna run into trouble. So first thing, you need intense light. That triggers red color the most. In addition to red light, I would say good CO2 values and for some reason cold water. As a, you know, a little bit of a personal experience here, 2 years ago, Interzoo Tropica tanks. Well, we haven't done this on purpose. We always do it this way. We do heavy water changes at Tropica at Interzoo booth every morning, like 100% water change, and it's cold water from the tap. The reason why, because Interzoo in May is usually super, super hot. those halls, they heat up during the day, and the temperature would go like above good, and then plants and fish, they're going to die, and we don't have any chillers on the tanks. So for that reason, we do 100% water change in the morning, cooling the tanks down below 20 degrees Celsius. So during the day, they can slowly heat up, and we don't run into issues with that. So that's a practice Tropica has been doing for a decade or something, which is the main purpose, just to keep everything alive, stable, and also as some sort of a filtration, because this way you have crystal clear water if you just change the water every day completely. But what it does to the plants is insane. Super clear water, no nutrients, and cold water. I don't know, even not injecting CO2. Vallisneria turns red. We had pink color Vallisneria tiger. And people were asking, what kind of new plant is that? Oh, it's a red Vallisneria. Well, it's a simple Vallisneria tiger. Like, how is that possible? And everyone now who doesn't believe me, go to the Tropica homepage, go to the Inspiration Center, and I think if the Inspiration Center has been updated with the latest picture from the Interzoo, there you will find on that easy category tank from 2 years ago, which George and I scaped together. If it's not in the Inspiration Center, it might be that it hasn't been updated with the latest pictures from Interzoo, which is a shame, by the way, because it's 2 years ago. We haven't updated, but we are currently working on the homepage. So it's been redesigned, and there is a lot of things happening in the back end. But if you go to the Tropica Instagram, and you go to all the posts from Interzoo 2018, there you will find the easy pinkish leaves, which is just crazy and mind-blowing. And you know, if you have everything, you have a high-tech setup running, you know, high energy, and then you want to tweak a little bit, then you can go low with nitrate. But you do this only, and I repeat, you do this only if you're algae-free, and you do it only for a limited time prior a final shoot. You can't do it for a long time, because then long-term a shortage in nitrate is going to lead to excess in phosphate, which is leading to hair algae. It's going to be a nightmare.
That was going to lead on to my next question, because obviously there are other plants in the aquarium, like in mine, for example, I've got Monte Carlo that requires quite high nitrates from what I've read. But we got about 20 seconds remaining. Yeah.
So, sorry, please, can you repeat the question? Nitrates remaining, phosphate?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I've got Monte Carlo in my tank, so they require quite high nitrogen. So I'd sacrifice those then. Yeah, just send him a message now, guys. I'll see if he'll come back, just so we can wrap things up properly, because we got cut off short there. I didn't want to leave it. Don't want to leave it that short. It seems to creep up. Yeah, I need some lunch too. I think it seems to creep up on you. It doesn't give you any sort of notice until sort of 30 seconds before. Then it cuts off. But if I can get him back, I will. But I think he must be gone now. Safe versus prime. Had on, Steve. It will all depend purely on the size of your tank. If you've got a massive tank, I'd go with safe. If you haven't, I'd go with prime. What do you want about JP? Yes, myself and JP will be going live at some point as well, but we haven't scheduled that yet. So, I see. I wouldn't know. Right, I'm gonna end it there. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, if you've got any questions or anything, then let us know. Yeah, I'll message Juris and see what happened and make my apologies, and I'm gonna have some pasta now. So take care people, stay safe, see you in the next one.